Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of So Chatty, episode number 83 for December the 2nd, 2022. And today is a little different. First of all, you'll notice it's only me. Walter is not here. Is Walter sick? No. Is he away? No. Why is Walter not here? Because it's not necessary to have him here, because this is a little different edition or episode of So Chatty, a little special one. I have all the Christmas decorations up in the house, and now it's time for the reveal as promised. So that is what this episode of So Chatty is going to be all about. So before we move into that whole video, just a couple of reminders. Craft and Chat is coming up on Wednesday, December the 7th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. That is Eastern time, so I hope you can join us. We always have it on the first Wednesday of every month, and this is the same. Bring along whatever you want to work on: knitting, crochet, sewing, quilting, paper crafts, art journaling, painting, underwear drawer organization, whatever floats your boat. All are welcome. And those of you that are on my mailing list for Craft and Chat, at the end of this week, you will be receiving your personal invitation with the Zoom link for the Craft and Chat that is coming up. You will also find, for those of you that aren't on the mailing list, and if you'd like to be on the mailing list, just drop me a line. My email address is in the show notes below, and I'll be happy to add you. But for those of you that aren't on the mailing list, you can certainly still come, and you will find the link for the Zoom Craft and Chat in the show notes below. Okay, and just advanced warning, notification, whatever. I'm going to have a sew day on January the 1st, 2023. Yes, New Year's Day. If you're not doing anything, and a lot of people don't do a heck of a lot on New Year's Day, usually recover from New Year's Eve. But if you're one of those kind of people that don't need to really recover, then maybe you've got some free time on your hand and you'd like to join us for the day and work on future projects. Start on that resolution list of projects you were going to finish for 2023. Get a good start on that. So that will be on January the 1st, and more details about that will be coming very soon once we get a little closer to that date. Okay, without any further ado, let's get into my tour of my house Christmas decorations. Okay, if I sound like I'm out of breath, it's because I am. Because I just went into the crawl space, or the black hole of Calcutta as I call it, and dug out all the Christmas decorations. Now, I haven't done anything with these except dig them out of the crawl space. So there's some, but that's not all. There's some more, and there's a whole lot more. And that bag on the bottom is full of quilts, table runners, placemats, things I've made over the last couple of years since I started quilting that will all have to find a decorative spot to go in. And then there's the 3D in the hoop applique, gingerbread houses, soldiers, and whatnot. And I haven't even taken out the 3D printed items that I made back in the summer to add to this year's collection. Now I'm hoping there'll be a few things I'll find in boxes that I don't need anymore and I can weed them out and get rid of them. I did that last year and I got rid of a lot of stuff, and I know there's still more stuff in here that I need to get rid of as well. But now, what's the next stage? The next stage is to get my folding tables out, and I have more than just these two, and I will need more than just these two, and set them up here in the center of this room and lay out everything that I have and decide which rooms and spots in the house everything's going to go into this year. Now, I did take pictures of it all last year, so I'm going to see if I can find those pictures and maybe print them out as a bit of a guide and a reminder as to what I have. So this is the first step. Okay, so now I've got out my folding tables. I'm still out of breath. This is something that you need to have staff for. Maybe next year. But in the meantime, I have these folding tables all out here, and these are going to be my sorting tables. And I'm going to take these piles of things and go through each box and lay them out. And I'll do an initial sort where I decide like things that are 3D, things that need to hang on the wall like wreaths, stuff for the Christmas tree, that kind of thing. And sort of get some sort of semblance of order here. So I've unpacked all of my quilts and table runners and pillowcases and other kind of table toppers and my Christmas wreaths and this little basket. And this, as you know, is just part of what I have here. Now, these quilts, when I took them out, and they're in various sizes, I have a couple of problems. One, they're very, very wrinkly. Okay, when I put them in, to store them, the creases seem to stay in them. So what I'm going to do is, I could wash them, but instead of washing them, they're not dirty. I think I'm going to put them in my dryer on the steam setting, because my dryer does have a steam setting, and see if that will blow out some of the wrinkles in them before I hang them up. Now, I have to figure out where I'm going to hang those up and where I'm going to put all these table runners. But I still have many, many more things to get out. So I'll come back in a bit and show you what the results of steaming these were and what some of the other decorations are. And this is an all-day job. So this is November 30th, 2022. I'm hoping that by the end of the day, the majority of this is done, if not everything. So I've pulled everything else out of the boxes and I'm trying to organize it. You can see there are some of my in the hoop embroidered gingerbread houses here. I've got some plastic garland in the background. I've got some socks. I've got some more in the hoop embroidered items like the Santa's sleigh and the train and the big angel back there and the snowman. And then down in here, these are all in the hoop. They are my angel collection and my nutcracker collection. Then I have the 3D prints that I made. This is my angel collection, along with some more embroidered ones. And over here, I have a little Christmas village done in transparent plastic that I did on my 3D printer, and those will all light up when I put little lights in them. And more of my tin soldiers or nutcrackers I did in 3D plastic, candle rings. And then this pile over here is yet to be tackled. This is stuff for the Christmas tree, which I have not put up yet. It's going over there. You can see I've put up a few more things down here. This is the rec room. So I've got all my quilts are hung now. And I'll show you them in a bit. But here is my mantelpiece. And you see I've swapped out my slip covers or pillow covers for these ones. And don't mind those cushions, they're sitting there, I haven't put them away yet. Another quilt hanging over the chair. Now what I want to do is work on this end table. I've done a little bit here on the coffee table. I think there may be some garland put into that. I need to work on this table. And I've got some tables upstairs. That's where a lot of this stuff that you see here is going to go. Oh yes, and over in this corner I've put up my ceramic tree. I've put it on a timer. It's not lit up right now. This used to be my mother's. It's mine now. Another quilt over here. So there's going to be some other things put around that little tree as well. I know some should almost just use that as their Christmas tree for the year, but no, I'm going to put up the bigger tree. And when I say bigger, it's a tabletop tree. Okay, so I'm finally done decorating, and just a word of advice or a note of caution, I suppose. I am not one of those people who designs for Christmas according to a theme or color scheme or whatever. I do not buy new decorations every year to capture a theme or whatever. I basically use what I have and what I have created on my own, and it's never the same from one year to the next. So let's start here. Very simple. A table runner. That's it. That's all that's here. Now that centerpiece is always on the table. Usually, or in past years, I have stuck some poinsettias, plastic poinsettias in there to add a little color. And I would have done that this year too, except I ran out of them because I used them in other spots, as you'll see. So I may have to run off to the dollar store at some point in the next week or so and purchase some more of those and stick them in just to add a little splash of color. Down here, I have one of these. My mother used to love these. These were by Hallmark. I don't know if they still make them or not. I guess they're fun. When we were younger, my mother had a bunch of these different ones. She was buying them every year when they come out with them before the Christmas season at Hallmark. They weren't particularly cheap, but my mother, she just loved them, and she had them all over her house. And after a while, you got really sick of the tune that they played. But I guess they're fun. And this one's well, quite an age, really. I think I've had this one, well, I think I got it after we moved into this house, and it was 1995, so last century when we moved in here. So I've had it for quite a long time. Okay, on the couches in here, I have put slip covers over my cushions on my sofas, and they're ones that I made probably a couple of years ago now, and if you take a closer look at them, they do have a bit of embroidery on them as well. And that was probably just after I got my embroidery machine and started getting into quilting that I did these. And I'm just noticing now that I've got stripes going horizontal and I've got stripes going vertically, and I think I want them all to go horizontally. So let's flip that cushion over. Yeah, I'm a little OC. This quilt was a panel. I don't know if I made it last year or the year before, but it's there so you can sit on Santa's face. That's always fun, I guess. No, you're supposed to sit on his lap, aren't you? Well, whatever. Just there goes my G rating. Okay, here are a variety of items that I have done in the hoop. The 2 nutcrackers were done on the 550E Janome embroidery machine. Walter did both of those. I think he made those last year. The train I made, again, the same idea. It's in the hoop combination applique and embroidery. And of course the little candy chalet, they called it. I made that one last year too. And you can see I've got poinsettias stuck everywhere. I love poinsettias, fake ones. I don't like real ones because I kill them. Okay, here's a couple of more of the couch cushions. I did think of throwing one of my Christmas quilts over the back of this couch as well. The reason I didn't do it is because we sit on it. Well, I say Walter sits on this one. I have my own chair over on the side, as you'll see in a moment. And that just crushes the quilt. And I'd have to keep readjusting it and everything. Whereas this couch over here, nobody sits on it unless somebody comes over, and I'll deal with that then. Here on the other end table, you can see this is another in the hoop embroidery project. I think I made that a couple of years ago. It's a snowman. That was fun. Now the bottoms of the snowman and the, I think the bottoms of the nutcrackers as well, you can put a little tea light in those. And I think I've got some that change colors in our remote control. I just remembered that. I'll have to dig them out and put them in. Problem with those little remote control lights that change colors, they're LEDs, is they go through the disc batteries really quick, I have noticed. They're a real drain on those batteries. That's what I get for buying them off of Amazon at a bargain price. But they do look nice when they're glowing in, you know, when the room is dimmer. Of course, I have, that's an electric candle as well. We don't burn any real candles anymore for safety reasons, that kind of thing. And that will light up if the batteries are working in it. Again, it's one of those things that, you know, you have to have all these little remote controls for all these things. And you get 100 of these remote controls, or sometimes what happens is one remote control will control several different things, not all of them at once. And so you're turning one on, it's turning another one off, or back and forth. And to be honest, I can't be bothered with it, really. Here I have a little display of Christmas typey candies. Well, I got some nuts, and I've got some Lindor balls. I put them in that dish, not so much to eat, but to look at, because they're pretty. We'll probably eat them though. And these are really good. They're salted caramel in dark chocolate. You buy them at Costco. And somebody gave Walter a bottle of these. God, these are probably ancient. I think we've had them for a year, but they never go bad. They're in an airtight container sort of a thing. So I tried one, they're still okay. So I put those out too, because you know, Christmas time, you want to see candy, right? Or at least I do. Okay, so on the coffee table in the center, I have this little display. So I took one of my vases, whatever you want to call it, that I had downstairs, stuck some fake poinsettias in it and some other doodads that I had laying around. And then I put the gingerbread houses around it. I have this tree. I did not make this little silvery tree. Someone gave that to me, I think, or I may have bought it many, many years ago. Like I said, a lot of my decorations I've had for 1,000 years. Some, I remember what the memory is that goes with them. Others, haven't got a clue. Got Santa's sleigh here. This is another freestanding lace embroidery project. And so was the little angel that's there as well. And I stuck her in the sleigh. I think last year I had little gifts in the sleigh, but they're in the train. So, I guess I didn't have enough of them. But she's having a little ride with Santa. I guess she's making sure he has everything, everything goes well for him on Christmas Eve. Yeah, sure, that's the story. Now, I do like to incorporate what I have already in my living room. I don't like moving a lot of things out and putting them somewhere else, like in a closet or something, because I know when I take down all the Christmas decorations, I will forget where I put things. So I try to keep things as close by for storage as I can. So for example, this table usually has a vase on it, and it's under here, under the table, as you can see right there. And what else? Oh yeah, over here in this corner, I have a vase and a freestanding lace lighthouse structure. They are sitting here on the floor underneath the table. They're out of harm's way, and you know, I don't think they look bad sitting there. I also try to incorporate, as I said, things that already existed, like this mat usually sits on the center coffee table. I just moved it over here because, believe it or not, I didn't have any more Christmas table toppers to use here. So that works for now with that. Yeah, then peeking in behind, some fake poinsettias. Now over on here on this cabinet, I just hung this up here. I don't know where I had it last time, but it seems to fit in this space. And this was another in the hoop applique project as well. And yes, you can make bigger things in your hoop. There's ways that you can sew the parts together in the hoop, and usually those instructions come with the file when you buy it. Okay, let's move. I do not decorate the bedrooms or bathrooms, so let's move into the dining room. So I usually have a white tablecloth on this table, but I swapped it out for a red one. Why not? Adds a burst of color. And this arrangement that I have in the center is one that I put together myself a year or two ago, and I made the basket that these little items are in. I mean, okay, don't criticize me for my arranging talent, because I don't have any when I arrange things. It works for me. It's pretty. It's colorful. And I had a few more electric candles. I had some real candles too. And I just cobbled them together on either side with, I think there's some quilted coasters underneath some of those, and more of my lovely fake poinsettias. I do love plastic, as you know. And the little holder that this candle's in and this candle over on this side are in were ones I made sometime in the summer, just trying this out. Thought they were kind of cute, and they're serving the purpose that I want them to serve right now. Now over here, this is not a Christmas village, although most people think it is. This doesn't go down. This is up all year round. And it's Department 56 houses, if you know what that is. They're ceramic. And they were all the craze back in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. My mother bought me my first one, which is the lighthouse over on the far side behind the Las Vegas sign. And I bought a few more, and they're expensive, and they're dust collectors. And so I stopped. When I filled that and this old radio here with these ones, I stopped collecting them. Now, you can have hundreds of these, and they come in theme sets, and can be very, very elaborate. I didn't get into that. Now, this is on a timer, and these will go on at a certain time. Actually, I should probably swap out that old mechanical timer for one of my new Wi-Fi ones. That would probably be a good idea. Note to self to do that, and then I can put it on a proper timing schedule. But that all lights up, little street lights, as you can see here. They will light up. My Las Vegas sign lights up. My Christmas tree lights up. And if you notice, there are some things that, well, let's play one of these things doesn't belong. And what is it? Well, why is there a Parthenon in here? Why is there a big tower, the Sky Tower in New Zealand? Why is there San Francisco trolley and a Statue of Liberty and an Eiffel Tower and all kinds of things? These are little things, little miniatures that I collect when we travel. And I bring them home and I set them up on here. So I've incorporated them here as a bit of a memory thing. So yeah, there isn't a theme really going on here, but I like it. And if you see any white on here, it's not too bad. I don't dust it. I call it snow. When it gets to the point where there's drifts, then I'll probably dust it. But you know, dusting this is not a small task. Everything has to come off. It's a day's job because I wash everything, clean it all down, and yeah, now you know why I don't do it. Okay, so in the living room, on the two couches are a couple of quilts that I made. I'm not sure. One of them I made probably a couple of years ago. Another one may have been last year. I think this one I may have made last year. Don't remember. They're on the couch, and the coffee table in here has another table runner that was an in the hoop design, and I made that a couple of years ago. That one took a while. It's sort of a Dresden plate. And interesting story about these big poinsettias and the color scheme. These were cheap poinsettias that I bought at the dollar store. I cut the stems off, and I used spray inks and just colorized them and threw a little glitter on them. And I thought they turned out pretty good. They were an experiment from my crafting days, and I think they look pretty good. There's something a little unusual. This one, this Christmas tree, I got that as a Secret Santa gift way back when I was a teacher from another teacher, and she had made it, and it's a styrofoam cone, and she has used some little, I think almost like bobby pins, but I don't know if they are bobby pins, some kind of hair clip or pin, and each individual candy is attached to that cone. And I mean, I've had this probably for over 30 years, and it's still in great shape, and I bring it out every year. It's something I really like. A simple gift. I'm sure you could make one of those yourself, but I love it. I think it was a great idea. And then this little basket thing, I don't know where I picked this up. I probably picked it up somewhere in Christmas shopping once, saw it, thought it was cute. It was either that or it was a gift from somebody on a Secret Santa kind of deal. But I think it's cute, and I've had it for a long, long time as well. So like I said, some of my Christmas decorations I've had for decades. And I'm sure everybody's family is like that. Now on this table, I have one of my embroidered angels, freestanding lace, and there is a table topper here. Now, I was saying that sometimes I like to incorporate what's already on my furniture or in my room. And underneath this, you see the little white lacy part poking out? That's a doily. That's usually that lamp sits on top of. And it was just the right size that I could have these little parts poking out, and I think it makes it look a little bit more dimensional. So yeah, use what you've got. Now the fireplace, and this is a working gas fireplace. We use the one we have downstairs more than we use this one upstairs, but it makes the room really cozy, especially at Christmas time with the decorations on the mantle. And I made this, I don't know what you call it, it's a mantle scarf, I guess you call it. I made that a couple of years ago. It's got a sort of a farm theme to it. And I've got some socks. These are pretty juvenile socks because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and I think I used the serger. Yeah, I did, to finish off the unfinished edge on the top. But I've always kept them. I guess because they're a reminder of where I was and where I am now when it comes to sewing techniques. But anyways, they hang there, and they hang off these ceramic sock holders, one on either end, Santa with his Christmas list. And in behind, I put some more Christmas trees that I've had for years. Another freestanding lace large angel. That one took a while to make, and what makes her really fun is the little outer skirt. It's all done. That was all embroidered on organza. Yes, you can embroider on organza. The other two trees, well, one's a candle. The white one's actually a candle. I've never burned it. Have no idea where I got them. Had them forever. And then you can see a mixture of my freestanding lace embroidery with the angels and some angels that I've done on my 3D printer. I think I made a bunch of those last year. I was sort of starting a collection of angels for some reason, sort of like gnomes. Oh, you're gonna say, where are gnomes? Well, not really, no gnomes. The gnomes are for gifts. I don't really have, I think one quilt with some gnomes on it. We'll see that in a minute. So that's my living room. And the little lights in the back are those little fairy lights. They're on a battery, and of course, they're on a remote control. Everything's on a remote control. So let's just turn these off before I forget. I just keep that on the coffee table. If we happen to be sitting in here, I'll turn on the lights. We don't sit in this room very often. And it's been a while since we've had people over for dinner too and use the dining room suite. Okay, so let's just go around this way and take a look down in the front foyer. Our beautiful new front doors. Usually I would hang a couple of banners on the outside of these doors and a Christmas wreath, and I'm not this year because I do not want to mark the doors. So there will be nothing hanging off those brand new doors. So in here, I've got a couple of banners that I'm just draping over the banister and put a little plastic garland, love that plastic. And this wreath that's up here, I made this many years ago. I think I made it when we were in the old house, so that means 35 plus years probably. And it is made of wine corks. And then some ribbon and stuff like that. Those are back in my crafting days, have glue gun will travel. But I always put it up in this same spot every year. I still love this wreath. It took a long time to make, and I guess that's why I like it, because it took me a long time and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's getting a little beat up. You know, it could use a little refreshing, but nope, it is what it is. Okay, over on this side of the banister, I've got some garland coming down the banister. And this was another very long table runner. And I decided it looked kind of plain, so I had some more of those poinsettias. The purpley ready ones are ones that I dyed them myself and colorized them myself. And then the white ones are just, again, dollar store. Dollar store has the best Christmas decorations, really. You don't need to spend an arm and a leg. At least I don't think you do. Over in this corner, this arrangement of fake flowers, which really needs to be refreshed, I left there because they're red, that's Christmas colors, you know, add a pop of color to the corner. I added this table topper. It's a little bigger than the table, so that's why it's hanging over the edge. Give it that draped look. And then some more 3D printed Christmas trees and angels. Now I'm wondering, am I a little top heavy on the angels on one side with the trees on the other? Maybe I should just switch out these two. Maybe that angel should go there, and maybe that tree should go there. Yeah, perfect. Yep, knew it. Yep. OC's kicking in. Now I said I did have some gnomes. This is a table topper or whatever. I'm hanging it here on the wall. Now, the quilts I'm about to show you where they're hanging, I usually have other quilts hanging there all year round. So I just swapped out those quilts for these ones. And so this one fit in this spot. And they're just on with command hooks and rings, that clip. Very easy to swap them out. And going down the stairs, we have several things. Now I'll just get to the bottom of the stairs and show you what this looks like, because I don't want to fall down the stairs while I'm taking this, although that might be a laugh for you. So this one was a panel, and I used the attic window method to create it. These two were banners, applique on both of them. And this one is always here. It has a gnome on it, but he looks kind of Christmassy in his little red outfit, so I left him there. Plus, I didn't really have another thing that was the right size to fit there. And of course, this one is a tiled scene. It is all completely embroidery. Every piece. I think there are 32. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 8. So there are 32 individual tiles. They get fitted together. You sew them together. It's really not quilted per se because it's all embroidered to make the scene. I love making these. I've done a couple of different ones of these before, and they take a long, long, long time. But the end result is really worth it. It looks just like a painting, doesn't it? At least it does to me. Okay, let's move into the main room. Now this is where we keep the Christmas tree, and we'll come to it in just a second. But in this corner, I have this ceramic Christmas tree. And I'm sure you've seen this kind of thing before, because I think back about 20 years ago or longer, these were really popular. Everybody was getting into the ceramic Christmas tree, and my mother was no exception. This was hers, and of course I inherited it. So here it is in a place of honor. I have this little table that usually it's a little drop leaf table. I usually have the leaves dropped, but I've opened one leaf up to give me a little bit more space. And these lights are on a timer as well. Right now I've got them on just for the sake of the video, but I've set all the timers using my little Wi-Fi GoSund sockets, which I talked about on my vlog there a week or so ago. I love those things. They're set to turn on the lights at about 5 o'clock in the evening and turn them off at midnight. And just means I don't have to worry about going around flicking switches. And I like them better than the mechanical type of timers you can get, or the digital ones, because these work with your Wi-Fi, and well, I suppose if your Wi-Fi goes out, so do your lights, but usually that's not a big deal. So you can see here I have a lot of white and transparent little buildings and Christmas trees. These were all done on my 3D printer a year ago. And again, these are ones, because they're transparent, you can put a little tea light in them. But I don't know if I'm going to bother with it this year, because half the time I don't turn them on anyway. So, you know, if I was able to plug those all in and put them onto something like the GoSend thing that I'm using, that'd be great, but I can't. And of course, this is a little mountain. This took many days to print. And I did it pretty much fairly early in my 3D printing journey. Before I knew what I was really doing, I was fearless. And you see there's a little train going through the mountain, and that's kind of fun. Very Christmassy. Reminds me of, what's that that train Christmas movie? I can't remember the name of it, but it had Tom Hanks was the voiceover for the conductor in it, and you know what I mean. Something Express. Is it the Christmas? Polar Bear Express. I think that's what it was called. Polar Bear Express, yeah. And this little tablecloth, I have no idea where I picked that up. I didn't make it. I don't think it was expensive. It's machine made, but it looks nice here. But there is a little center ring that the tree sits on. And this I did make. Again, it's another one of those in the hoop, applique, embroidery type projects. They're fun to do. Lots of time you have to have lots of time to do them though. Okay, let's turn around and let's go over to this area. And this is where you're going to see the most decorations. So on this little couch table, or whatever you call it, sideboard, whatever, I've got a couple of candle rings. I've had those candle rings forever. And just some odds and ends of little Christmas things, where I pick them up, I don't know. And of course, some poinsettias. And then on the TV set, I have this bow, and this bow actually lights up. Let me just see here if I can find the button. Again, battery operated. The lights aren't showing up all that well in this light, but you get the point. And again, I just tuck in some of those fake poinsettias. On this chair, I took the cushions that I have on my chairs and I put slip covers over them that I made these last year with the Christmas trees. And my little oot pick and my little koala bear always sit here. That's their place. He's falling over. He's had too much eggnog. You got to watch that with oot picks. Yeah. And if you don't know what an oot pick is, you're not Canadian. Oh, and just let me back up here to show you my wreath wall. This is something, I have not done this before. Walter gets upset with me if I hang things on this wall. This is his accent wall around his fireplace. And he never wanted anything on this wall, but I can't stand it. It has to have something. Usually in the center where that big wreath is, we have a photograph that we bought at a fundraising auction at our local art gallery. But now there's a wreath there. And I had these other wreaths and these snowflakes, And these snowflakes came from the dollar store. They're just plastic. But I think it looks kind of interesting, and I offset everything just to make it interesting visually. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Of course, we've got our socks are here. We never put anything in them. We used to have 3 socks. There was one for Kitty when Kitty was alive. We bought for Kitty at Christmas time and everything. You know, she's been gone for 8 years now. Has it been 8? I think so. And no, it's been 7. Miss her a great deal. There's nothing like a nice kitty cat at Christmas time, especially when they want to climb your Christmas tree and toss all your decorations off and bury them under the couch. But, you know, they're still cute. I love them. And I put another, you know, some greenery, more poinsettias in behind. And then we have one of my oldest Christmas decorations. Not the Santa, but Augie Doggy, as I call him. I don't remember where I bought him. I think Walter, I say this every year, and I think Walter says you got him at, I think it was at a place called Woco, which became eventually something else over the years. I don't know what. But here's what the fun thing is about Doggy, Augie Doggy. You squeeze his little paw and he plays 3 different little tunes. He takes a couple of batteries, and you see he only plays the first 10 bars or so of each song, and then he's done. It can get a little annoying. When my nephews and nieces were young, they used to play with him. They'd come in and squeeze his paw. They loved hearing the music. Oh, he only gave me 2 tunes. I thought he gave me 3. Well, he's getting old. He may have forgotten what that 3rd tune is. Well, welcome to the club, Augie Doggy. Okay, what's Christmas? You have to have a Homer Simpson. Now, I don't have any batteries in him, but he does something. He moves around, shakes around, and I forget what he sings. I didn't put any batteries in him because he's another one of those things that can get very annoying very fast. On the end table here, a couple of electric candles, a couple of candle rings, and this little gotchi right here. I don't know. Gotchi? I don't know if that's the right word. Whatever. You know, dust collector. I don't know where he came from. On the couch, another quilt. And, oh yes, I forgot to point out that on, don't want to make you dizzy, on this chair and behind this pillow is another table runner, but it's Steampunk Christmas, as you can see. I saw those designs and thought I'd make it because I have a couple of friends that are into steampunk. I did sort of think about making some for them, but I don't think I ever did. I thought about it though. It's the thought that counts, right? Over here, ooh, okay, I should have cleaned up a little bit. These are my watching television cushions. Just move those out of the way. So another tree pillow slip and another quilt on the back here. I've got this little thing sitting on this speaker. Why? I don't know. I made this back in my paper crafting days. I had this looks like a Chinese food box, which is funny because here in Canada, anytime we order Chinese food, we don't get it in those boxes. But every time I watch it on TV, on American TV, they always get their Chinese food in those boxes. But anyways, I think I bought the box at Michael's. I was playing around with some old vintage sort of pictures, and yeah, it sits there. I don't know, it's really, I should just toss it. But it's kind of pretty in its own way. Just don't look at it too closely. Okay, in this corner of the couch, the other cushion with a Christmas tree on it as well. So that takes me to our main Christmas tree. And as I said, our main Christmas tree is a tabletop tree. Oh, before I show you that, got to show you this. I have mentioned several times recently on my vlog and on the Idiot Quilter that I like to watch what interior designers do with their houses at Christmas because they're always over the top. Well, I saw this tutorial back, it's probably over 10 years ago or more, where Rebecca Robson from Ken Woven showed you how to make this using pages out of an old book. And she tea-dyed all the pages, then she rolls them and you stick them down to a foam board in behind and add little things on this. I think I've lost a few of my balls. Yeah, no comment. And I just really liked it. I thought it was a cute idea, and you know, it's gotten a little crushed over the years, But it still stood up the test of time, really. And I mean, you're just gluing them on with a glue gun, so that's pretty good. But I think it looks great there, and that's where it always goes. In fact, there's a hook that it's on right now, command hook. I don't take the command hook off. I have another thing that's usually on that pillar, which is a really skinny banner or wall hanging that I made at one point in time. That's where what usually goes there. Okay, I think I'm ready to show you the tree now. And there's my little tree. And want to see it with the lights off? Let me just go over here and turn them off, see if this is going to show up. And I think it's really kind of pretty. Now, I did something different this year with the tree. My angel on the top. I don't know where I got that angel. I picked it up somewhere. I didn't make it. There is some just plain, you know, plastic ornaments balls. But what I did was I put a set of beads. I don't know if you can see them in here. In this light, little silver beads down there, and ribbon. And last year I don't think I put any ribbon on the tree, and I don't know why. Because I like ribbon on a tree. And the balls that are hanging down on the lower branches are antique. These were Walter's mother's Christmas tree ornaments. So I hang them at the bottom of the tree. I mean, for years when we had the cat, I couldn't do that because anything on the lower branches, the cat would bat off. And those are glass. These are all glass balls, these vintage ones, and they will break. And it doesn't take much to break them because they're really fragile. So I hang them on the bottom of the tree. And something new this year, I bought picks off of Amazon. And when I first got them, that's a pick there. The one with red berries is a pick. And there's several of them. I bought a couple of packages of these, and they just fill in the gaps in your tree. And I've heard of people using these before. I'm a little slow to the game, I guess, or a little late to the game, but I really like them. When I first got them out of the package, I thought they look a little cheap, and they are. But when you put them in the tree, I think it enhances it. Now, under the tree, I have stuck a variety of things. Some 3D printed objects, some freestanding lace embroidery. I have my angels, all in rainbow colors. And I have my little drummer boys or tin men or whatever you want to call them, or nutcrackers that are on my 3D printer in rainbow colors as well. There's some Christmas trees, some fake gifts in behind. These were tin boxes already decorated up, and cardboard boxes, bought them at the dollar store. So they just add them to your tree because we don't really bother putting any gifts under the tree. Well, we will, but we don't buy that much. There's just the two of us. So there we go. And I do have a, what do you call it? A tree skirt. This was a cheapo. It says Merry Christmas on it. It's made with felt and something else. I didn't make it. I bought it this way. And believe me, when you're putting up a tree that comes already pre-flocked and the flocking starts to flake off and it sticks to the felt, it's a bitch to clean up off of that. This is definitely when you want to keep your lights low so nobody can see the little specks. Yeah, you can pretend it's snow, but everybody knows it's not. But yeah, so there's the tree. And I think the tree's looking really pretty. So, yep, decorating is done for this year. Can enjoy it for the next month. And then on January the 2nd, it's all coming down. And I'm not looking forward to that because then the house always looks bare, right? So I thought you'd like to see how I decorate it for this Christmas. As I said, I'm not a designer. I don't have a theme. I just have things that appeal to me and I stick them up wherever. So I hope you enjoyed this.